Hi, everybody. These are your pre-health ambassadors again, Kelly, Julia, and Sydney. Today, we're going to be talking to you guys about our different paths at URI. We all have diverse backgrounds, and we hope to enlighten you guys on all of them. So I'm going to start. So again, my name is Kelly. I'm currently a fifth year at URI. I finished my first degree in kinesiology, and I'm now pursuing a second degree in writing. I have an interesting story in regards to my journey at URI. I actually entered URI as a biomedical engineering major. I quickly learned that that was not the field that I was meant to be in, and I decided to switch to undecided until I figured out what path I wanted to take. The second semester of my sophomore year, I decided that kinesiology was the best major for me because my goal was to go to physical therapy school. I also picked up a writing minor just because I just enjoyed to write. So that summer, going into junior year, I shadowed a physical therapist and discovered that that also wasn't the career path that I was meant to be in. I explored all of the options that I was able to use with a kinesiology degree and found that I was able to go to PA school as long as I fulfilled extra requirements. So my senior year at URI, I continued to fulfill the requirements for my kinesiology degree, along with taking the prerequisites for PA school. I really was set to graduate in May of 2020. However, as we all know, coronavirus hit and everything, including school and sports, were canceled. I'm on the track team here at URI. So unfortunately, my senior season of outdoor track was canceled. So after long debate and discussing with my coaches and seeing what the NCAA was going to allow for spring athletes to do, we were granted an extra year of eligibility. I decided to take that opportunity and continue my education along with training for my senior outdoor. So now I'm finished my first kinesiology degree, and I actually turned my writing minor into a writing major, and I'm continuing to take my prerequisite classes for PA school. I do plan on taking a gap year once I graduate in May of 21, as I am applying to PA schools this upcoming spring. I plan to continue working as a medical scribe at home and hopefully gaining some experience with the PA and also doing some research in my gap year, as the PA school process wouldn't allow me to start at the earliest until fall of 2022. I personally am open to any program in any state, and I'm really excited to start the next journey of my life. And that is my story, and I'm going to pass it on to Sydney.
Hi, so my name is Sydney, and I'm going to talk a little bit of how I ended up in URI in general and in the psychology and honors program. So I actually applied to URI well after the normal application cycle. Decisions were already sent out. It was pretty much closed, but we do have a rolling application kind of thing going on now. So I initially had intentions to go elsewhere. I was supposed to go to a school in Boston and major in neuroscience, but I couldn't get there due to financial issues. So basically, I called up the URI admissions team and begged them to help me, and they did. They were actually really helpful. I ended up applying, and they sent out a decision, and they accepted me. And I kind of just had to randomly pick a major because URI didn't have neuroscience, which they do now. So I had taken one psychology class in high school, and I planned on using that AP credit just as like a gen ed kind of thing. But I really enjoyed psychology, so I just ended up taking psychology as my major. It ended up turning out to be something that I really loved to study. So I kept psychology and I did the pre-med sciences along with that course load. So I was also invited to be in the honors program due to my high school GPA. The honors program definitely brought like the broadest array of classes I could have imagined. My scope was super broad. Nothing that I took in the honors program had anything to do with my major. I had taken religion classes, I had taken education classes, things that had nothing to do with psychology or pre-medical sciences. So while I felt majoring in psychology and pretty much minoring in the honors studies program and completing the pre-med track was a little overwhelming at times, it also was kind of a good balance. Basically, I was getting a balance between hard sciences, soft sciences, and humanities, which if you're going through a day and you have biology, then chemistry, then physics, having that break of psychology at the end of the day, it's much more laid back and it's a lot easier to understand, in my opinion. I also feel that many healthcare related programs aren't necessarily looking for that biology major or chemistry major or physics major. And while that's great to do if that's what you're interested in, I also find that that's not the expectation anymore. They're looking for the well-rounded student. Additionally, majoring in psychology has also given me the ability to learn empathy and compassion and to develop better understanding of the individual, which is super helpful in healthcare. I've also gotten lots of internships and job opportunities that are semi-clinical and are going to help in my admissions process with medical school. And ultimately, I don't think it really has anything to do with what you're majoring in when it comes to your admissions process. I think it's very much how you use your education, what your score is looking at, if you're a well-rounded student, and of course, how your prerequisites look. So with that all being said, I'll hand it off to Julia.
Hi, everybody. As Sydney just said, my name is Julia, and I'm a senior majoring in biology, sociology, and Italian, and I'm also in the honors program. After I graduate, I will be attending medical school at Brown University, where I was accepted through the EIP, which is a great program for students from Rhode Island. So when I came to URI, I was actually just a biology major, and I already knew that I wanted to be on the pre-med track. And that love for medicine was really confirmed through volunteering and shadowing. Regarding my academics, my sociology degree came out of me taking Social 100 as a gen ed. It was just kind of a random class that my advisor put me in at orientation, but I ended up completely falling in love with it. It really made me think critically about how we become who we are and why society is the way it is in a way I hadn't before in any science class. So I ended up taking that up as a second major. Then I've always taken Italian language classes since I was a freshman in high school, simply because my family is of Italian origin and I have some family members that don't speak English. So that's been greatly helpful for me. And when I sat down with my Italian advisor, I realized that language majors are actually very flexible at URI and can fit in quite nicely with other majors, especially STEM majors. So I find that these three majors, biology, sociology, and Italian, fit together quite nicely. And while they seem a bit disjointed at first, I find that in all of my classes, I'm really just studying people from three different perspectives, those being biological, social, and cultural perspectives. And I believe that this path has prepared me well for a career in medicine. And as Sydney already said, it provides a nice balance of hard and soft science, which can be greatly important when you're taking organic chemistry and other challenging classes. So what I would take away from this is not that you have to study a language or social science or biology, or certainly a combination of those. But what really matters is that you study what you're passionate about, and that for you, that field of study also contributes to your passion for medicine or makes you a more well-rounded person in some way. So thank you for listening to us today, and we hope that you find this video very helpful.